We have been given a great opportunity the next couple of Wednesday nights that our youth group is going to be, or different members of the youth group are going to be bringing us our message. And so this week, Adam Paisley is going to bring us our message, so be excited about the next few weeks and listen as he brings us this message.
Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Good. Well, I'd like to ask you all tonight, have you ever had one of those times where there was something that you really wanted to do, and rather you just couldn't get around to it, or maybe you couldn't physically do it? Well, on the Atlanta trip just a couple weeks back, I had the same thing happen to me, where I'd get there, wait 40, maybe even an hour in line, and get to the end of the line to ride whatever, and be told, sorry, you're too big, you're going to have to ask to step off. But, as we're about to find out, being big isn't always a problem. In Luke chapter 18, verses 6 through 8, it says, "And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice to his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he just put them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth?" Jesus is asking, will he find any Christians on earth? Will there be any faith? And in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 13 through 14, we read, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads us to destruction. And many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only few will find it." We have a narrow road if we plan on getting into heaven. And one thing that'll help is if we have a big faith. We have this demonstration in Matthew, but we also have one in Luke, chapter 13, verses 22 and 27. And it reads, "Then Jesus went through the towns and villages, teaching as he made his way through Jerusalem. Someone asked him, 'Lord, are only a few people going to be saved?' He said to them, 'Make every effort to enter through the narrow door, because many, I tell you, will try to enter and will not be able to. Once the owner of the house gets up and closes the door, you will stand outside, knocking and pleading, 'Sir, open this door for us.' But he will answer you, 'I do not know you or where you come from.' Then you will say, 'We ate and drank with you, and you taught in our streets.' But he will reply, 'I do not know you or where you come from. Go away from me, all you evildoers.'" Yet again, another example of how that it's going to be very few in number, but if we're small in number, we can always be strong in faith. And there's a good passage about faith in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 11 through 12. It reads, "But you, man of God, flee from all this and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. Fight the good fight of the faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called, and you made good confession in the presence of many witnesses." Now, that there is a direct commandment by Christ telling us that we need to let go of all of our evil ways and need to be strong in faith, be faithful to Him. Some of us may not know how to have faith, but in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, It reads, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such great clouds of witnesses, let us throw everything off that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance. The race is marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy set before him, endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." So to have faith, we need to get rid of all of the things that would turn us away from what God would have us do. Because by simply following what we just read in Hebrews, we know that by following this, we will have strong faith. Because when we go out there to heaven one day, we will either make it through the narrow door or narrow gate, or we won't. But if you want to be ensured that you will, you must be strong in faith. Now, if there is anyone here tonight that is losing faith, needs prayers from the church, or needs somebody to talk to, tonight's the night. And I'd like to ask you to please come forward while we stand and sing together.